Fool notions. Fool. Notions.
This is Novum. It's a new granular synth from Dawesome, and it's been available for a couple of weeks now. Novum has your typical granular controls, like grain size, skew, and jitter, and it has a slew of ADSRs, LFOs, pressure, CC, and MPE control capabilities, and the all-important random feature. Here's where the fun begins. Novum doesn't limit you to one set of tools. Instead, if you bring in a sample like this, Novum's AI will break the WAV file up into 6 separate layers, each with its own sonic characteristic. You can then apply a totally different set of granular parameters to each layer. And to top it all off, if you go to the Envelope tab, you can sonically paint each of these layers however you want, which will get you radically different sounds. You can see what happens when I isolate this particular layer. Here is the original sound from the AI. And then if I paint on a new curve like so, you get 2 very different patches. You can get really creative with this, getting some LFO type effects with each different patch in addition to the many controls that you can use on the right-hand side here. If we go back to the granular window, you can click off the link button here, which means you have individual control over each spectral layer. And if I move a couple of sliders around, now we have 2 totally different granular patterns on 2 different layers. Here's what it sounds like when I bring in the second layer. That is a really impressive amount of control, and this has to be one of the most interesting new plugins to come out recently as far as sound design is concerned. So what else does Novum get right? Well, quite a few things. First off, the GUI is very nice looking, and it packs several great features like the ability to customize the colors of each sample, the ability to resize the GUI. It has pretty much all of the controls in one window, with the exception of these tabs here, and the ability to visually see what happens sonically with your sound. Other developers should take note of how this is laid out, because it's great. You can see here in the main window that with this particular patch, each of the layers, according to their colors, is going through different changes as they cycle through their various ADSR curves and LFOs. Then the white dots represent the granular patterns, and these patterns show up for each different key press. Finally, on the right, you get a nice set of line graphs that show what each envelope, LFO, or controller is doing, much like Arturia's pigments. One other feature which I particularly like is the drop-down menu here, which allows you to choose different types of grain patterns. These range from totally random to short, tight bursts with several in-between variations. There are a couple of things, however, that I don't like. One is that you only have main effects and not separate effects for each layer. Even a wet-dry mix slider for each layer would be nice, and this seems like it wouldn't be too hard to include. One other thing that I hope changes is the trash button located here. There is no "Are you sure you want to delete" option, and I have already lost one sample from a stray key press as I went through the menu. Maybe there is an undo somewhere, but I have not found it yet. Finally, the sound of most of the presets is a bit on the hot side, with a lot of resonance, so you might have to use something like Soothe or Smooth Operator to tame resonance, or use some creative EQing. I ended up using Smooth Operator on the title track that you heard earlier. All in all though, this is a super powerful plugin, and it's a lot of fun to use. As of the writing of this video, it's currently on sale for $125, with a regular price of $179. If you have bought a previous instrument from Dawesome, there is a discount, and I was able to get the discounted price of around $104 since I purchased Abyss last year. I don't know how long the sale will last, so it may be at regular price by the time this video gets released. And that is Novum in a nutshell. I'll play a couple of sound samples on the way out. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the mountain.